Well, actually, I didn't remember anything until this morning, and I couldn't work out why. I couldn't remember where I was, and it was because I was in Greece on holiday at the time.
I was at school when it had taken place. So when it happened, I was quite confused what was happening at the time.
And I remember in the hotel, all the widescreens that they hadn't switched on for our entire trip were just suddenly on. It was like News 24 and all that for the entire day. And I was only 16 though, so it was more important for me to be in the pool.
There was a feeling that something wasn't normal.
It was, all I remember was that it was just manic, and there was people shouting. For some reason I thought it was some kind of street theatre.
Thinking back, it was such a shock that had happened, especially on our own soil, after 9/11 especially.
Yeah, so I left Russell Square and I walked round to, what's it called, High Holborn? No, the road round the corner, and I was waiting for a bus stop, and we heard this big explosion, and it was the bus that was round the corner.
And then we heard a sort of like that. I heard a sound.
I mean, the day that it happened, it was all just a bit of a haze.
There were just big travel reports, because this was really early in the morning. There's a big travel reports about how all the tubes had failed and there was power cuts and possible gas explosion.
I guess it's weird because I guess for me personally, all I saw was, a bus blown up and people dying, or a train that's been exploded.
The scale of the attacks kind of hit me.
You can feel a little uneasy sometimes, but I blame that to the way media has done the story. Yeah.
I think we still haven't learned lessons. I'm sort of involved in the emergency services, and it's funny how you look slightly older than some people as well. You see similar types of incidents, catastrophes, and you sometimes sit there and think, does anyone ever learn from these things?
So, for example, the Western world, Muslim culture, stuff like that, has had such a bad stereotype.
It's like they use it as it's like a showcase item, almost. It's like, well, look what they did.
I don't like the way, especially with 7/7 or in relation to 9/11, I don't like the way that the media, for me, have stereotyped what terrorism is.
Certain amount of demonising of sort of of Muslims and the Islamic faith and so on.
I think it's quite a negative response towards a select few extreme people of that culture have given the entire culture such a bad press.
How do I feel about the event now? I think it just gets pulled out at any, given opportunity. Oh, Islam, or 7/7, we all remember that.